After so long, guys, after so long, we finally get episode 13, part 2 of War of Underworld, Sōdo Āto Onrain Sōdo Alicization, War of Underworld, part 2, episode 13. And I gotta say, it was absolutely worth it. I am going to talk about the theme song or the opening and ending themes later on, because I just want to talk about this episode, because I loved it in the beginning, where we get just a slightly different perspective of when Sinon is coming from the sky in her whole soulless outfit, avatar getup. Looked amazing, and then it was the same animation that when she shot her arrows and whatnot from episode 12, but it was different music. That music, if that music is the theme, the soulless theme, so good. Bro, it's amazing. I loved it, and that was great and everything. And classic Leafa, classic Suga, the way that she comes in is she falls flat on her ass and she is just confused, and she's just the quirkiness in her is just, I freaking love the chick. She is just a gorgeous, beautiful babes, and she is here, and she got to see who, I think, was it an orc, right? The pig human or whatever, the orc. I feel so awful for him, because his literal people died in vain because of what's her name, the Lidalai or whatever, the dark mage leader, which the whole thing with her attacking Leafa was it kind of, I'm sort of used to this in SAO whatever, but it was uncomfortable. It was. Let's be real here. A little uncomfortable. But, the way that Leafa got back at this bitch was amazing. Sliced her arms off. Boom. Sliced her in half. Oh, my God. it was so good. It looked like Leafa, was it a power or something that, she gets resurrected from, the what is it? Terraria's power or something? She gets resurrected from, nature or something, because it looks like Leafa dies because of Lidalai's ability. She dies. She looks like she dies. She's losing a lot of blood, and it looks like she passes out, and her eyes fade out, and then they come back. So it's is it because of her ability that she can somewhat revive herself when her life's being sucked out? Which I that's a pretty hacked ability. It's a pretty great ability. It's pretty awesome. With that whole fight with the orc guy, and just Leafa's attitude and her perspective is just so endearing, and she's just such a great person that you're talking with me, because orcs are considered just pigs to a lot of people in the underworld. They I don't know about the human empire, but obviously the dark territory, that people call them pigs and shit and stuff like that. And Leafa's I mean, you're talking to me and I'm talking to you, so you're a human to me, whatever, you know? So he's contemplating this girl is such a kind person, she just met me, and that whole scenario was great. And he said that I'm taking her to the emperor or whatever, and she's like, oh, Vecta, the god of darkness or whatever that. Yeah, take me please. Which I thought was kind of funny, that Leafa was she's just trying to get straight to the point. Get me to the emperor so I can take his ass out. Obviously, we know who's fighting him right now, which, I'm excited for that fight. The way that Bercouli, took out that dragon that the emperor had was just, his time blade, is so cool. I love it. I'm pretty sure, something's gonna happen where he's dying, but before that he does a bunch of his slashes to where they're timed way later on, so that when he gets taken out, all those things are gonna come storming into Vecta or whatever. Don't tell me nothing in the comments. I'm just thinking that that's probably gonna happen with them, and that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be exciting, and it was so much fun. And to see, actually, I forgot. Then I thought something was like really cute in the beginning when Sinon took out all of those enemies with her arrows and whatnot, took them all out. The gore and bloodiness in this episode, I was like, because like you're seeing all of these people in the underworld who are literal, like, to us it might not be that like they're human, like those American like VR players, which like they should have gotten better people to try to do American voices or like English or whatever. Like, I think they could have hired English voice actors, maybe like 2 or 3, to do those voices. They could have done that. I don't know how hard that is to do, is to get English voice actors to actually just do those English voices, but you know, whatever. Like, it's kind of weird, honestly, when they're trying to do like English voices, like with Japanese voice actors that aren't really good with English accents or whatever. But that's besides the point. But the bloodiness when like even though these characters are in like another world or virtual world, it's like to them this is their world. This is their real world. So like to see them like being cut in half and such by like axes of like these VR players and such, I'm like, whoa, like calm down. Like it kind of freaked me out a little bit, but it's been happening like throughout like War of Underworld, the first part, and then like Alicization and stuff. Like there's a lot of bloodiness that goes on in Alicization, like more so than any other game, obviously, because it's not an actual game. It's like actual people and humans and characters in this virtual world living their lives and whatnot. So that whole part like made me slightly like queasy. Not really queasy, but like ugh, like made me cringe a little bit, which is okay. It's just a natural reaction, whatever. But like that whole thing was crazy. And then like first when Sinon, you know, took care of all those characters and whatnot, told Asuna that there's a bunch of ruins that they can go to, so it's not as bad of like being surrounded by the enemy. So they were gonna go over there, but then like Sinon was talking about like, so is Kirito here or something? Like she's so freaking, Sinon is so cute. I love Sinon so much. All these babes in the show are so cute, or in the series are so great. I love them all. And then like Asuna's me like, you don't have to be so formal. Kirito is in here in this carriage. So she goes in there, and then you got, TS? I believe that's your name? Both of the girls that Yujiro and Kirito had, like, at the academy that were, like, their kohai and underclassmen. And they're freaking out, like, oh my gosh, it's Solus. It's Goddess Solus or whatever, which was funny. But just to see Sinon look at Kirito like that, I started tearing up for her, like, seeing him, and she's being like, do you feel it? The Kirito that's inside me, like that, like part of his soul and part of her soul are with each other, and like that whole talk was just so beautiful to me. That like that's true, that a part of your soul is with somebody that you change, you know. And just to hear her say that was just so beautiful. And also something that was actually really funny was that like the underclassmen girls are like, oh my gosh, it's another girl, Kirito's friend, like another girl that's Kirito's friend, like oh my gosh. And then like Sinon's being like, oh, there's a lot more on the other side and whatnot, which I think was that was hilarious. I love that very quick little banter. And then seeing Sinon crying for Kirito was just like, and you can tell that when he meets other people, he is like, seems like he's worried, and he senses their presence and whatnot. But when he saw Asuna, and heard Asuna, he starts crying his eyes out, and he starts trying to say her name. But everybody else that he meets, that doesn't happen. Like, you can feel the everybody knows this. Kirito Asuna forever, right? You can genuinely feel in that part, in the last part of War and Underworld, you can see it and you can feel it, that genuine love for one another, for Asuna and Kirito. It was just a beautiful thing, and I just wanted to point that out real quick about that. But moving on from that, is Leafa, her arrival, which was funny, obviously, I mentioned that in the beginning, and she's confronting the orc guy, and she's saying that, like, you're human, you're talking to me, so I'm considering you human and whatnot. And then the evil Leadalai, right? That's her name or something like that. She comes in with these, with her, like, special, what was that, like a demonic, like, curse spell thing that she survived that attack by Alice. She looks like she is able to suck out life now with that special spell that she had or something so that she can survive. So she took Leafa, and this was slightly uncomfortable, but I'm used to it at the same time. It didn't necessarily bother me, except for the part when you saw the tentacle next to Leafa's hoo-ha, and then you hear the noise. I'm like, oh, okay, like, whoa, like, she's literally, like, sucking the life and killing. It seems like she's killing Leafa because it looks like she dies, and then, like, the grass around Terraria, like, revives her or something like that. Like, she creates it or something. It's like a backup spell or something, but I thought that was, like, so, like, cool to see. She kind of pretty much got revived again. The orc guy, like, is being made fun of by Lealai, saying that, like you're a pig, get on all fours, and then maybe I will give her to you. And then he's like, no, and then he cuts, like, part of her foot, and then Lealai lets go of Leafa, and that was something that she shouldn't have done, because Leafa cuts her arms off when she's about to kill the orc guy, and like, she cuts her arms, and then she's like, I'm gonna take your ass out because of what you did to me and what you're doing to this guy, and she slices him in half. Like, bro, slices him in half. Like, that was crazy. That was a crazy situation that happened with Leafa and the orc guy and Lealai, whatever. Great stuff. And then you go to Vecta fighting Bercouli, and you're seeing the first stages of their fight. Bercouli almost got him with that, what is it, the Kuragiri or whatever? Almost got him, like, cut, like, his band on his head, which was crazy. And then he first he took out his dragon. Like, I'm probably going to be crying when he dies, because I genuinely think he's going to die fighting Vecta, but he's going to kill Vecta at the same time. I think it's going to be, like, kind of like a suicide type of, like, attack type of thing or whatever. But the thing that I liked about that scene was also him talking about, like, I couldn't necessarily be the actual parent that you were seeking and that you were looking for, like, thinking of Alice. And then he's talking about, like, how he doesn't even, like, remember his own parents. The thing that got me a little emotional was him saying that, like, but a parent is willing to die to protect their child. So he's like, he does see her as his kid, or, like, probably his child, and, like, oh, it was so emotional, and I'm ready to see that continuation of that fight. And I thought it was great so far. Like, Bercouli is, like, stepping on, like, the air. Like, he's using, like, a special ability to, like, circle around Vecta to, like, hit him or something. So, like, that's gonna be, like, really cool. And Vecta's, like, ability with his sword is, like, when you see his sword, it's like you forget what you're doing or some shit, which is, like, dangerous as hell. Like, he could have easily killed Bercouli. Like, he could have easily sliced him in half, but he's just cut off his arm. I'm like, I'm scared with that ability. That's just crazy. So then, like, you know, Asuna and all of them, like, in the ruins, attacking VR players or whatever from, like, America. Obviously not great English. I mean, it should have been great English. I don't know how hard it is to just get English voice actors to do those things. Maybe call, say, like, Funimation or something to be like, hey, we need some English voice actors to do these quick like sentences or lines or something. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they didn't do that. So you got Austin and all of them fighting in those ruins and everything, and it's gory as hell. It's a little uncomfortable, like little like gag kind of animation was great and everything. Like you see in Asuna like swirling around and shit, like taking out all of them and whatnot. And then you see the guy who is Vecta's partner, the guy who was the Dark Knight, the leader of the Dark Knights. But it turns out I got spoiled on something about who that character is and whatnot, which like I'm kind of annoyed about. And it turns out that, spoiler alert, this is gonna be 5 seconds, spoiler alert, that guy was the leader of Laughing Coffin. that's who he is, and that's why he knows Asuna so much, and that's why he's like, I think next episode or something, he's probably gonna be like, oh, like, so he must be here too. He's probably talking about Kirito, right? So that's gonna be very interesting to watch, and he's gonna want to kill Asuna, which obviously that's not gonna happen. He's gonna be taken out. I can't wait for that. Can't wait for his ass to get kicked. And then, like, all of a sudden, when all of those characters, all of those VR characters from America, those gamers, are coming in hot, trying to attack Asuna, because Asuna's the one standing there with a bunch of other, like, of her, like, soldiers and whatnot, but a lot of them are being taken out, and it's fucking, like, heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching to see all these soldiers being taken out just because these guys think it's a literal game. And it's sad. But, like, Asuna's standing there. I will not go down. I will keep fighting. And then, my boy, coming in hot with this, like, samurai whirlwind, like, ability, like, special skill, coming in hot. We got Klein, my boy. That's the end of the episode with Klein coming in hot, saying, like, are you all right, Asuna? I'm like, are we gonna finally see some good action with Klein? Because we never actually did. We didn't see any of it in the first season, unless, like, I gotta rewatch or something, but we haven't seen it in the first season, we haven't seen it in the second season, and the third season, obviously, he was nowhere to be found because it's Alicization. It was all about, like, Kirito and Yujiro and whatnot, but, like, we have not seen him fight. Please let me see some epic-ass shit with Klein and with what was his name? August H-A-G, I don't know, the big guy, the black guy or whatever. Let me see a fight with him. Let me see Lisbeth fight. Let me see, like, Silica fight. Let me see, like, the leader of the elves, or like all the leaders of the elves from ALO. Let me see them fight. Let me see the cat sifs, like, fight. Let me see a lot of people, not necessarily exact fights, but let me see some good ass scenes where they're going in hot to take all of these gamers out and everything. Please let me see this. I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen, and I'm ready for it, and that's the end of the episode. Now, let's get into talking about the themes. The opening theme, bro. The moment that I saw Kirito in the sequence, sitting in a chair in a school by himself, I started crying. Well, not crying, but I started, like, weeping a little bit. Like, he's all alone right now. Like, he's, like, oh, it's such a good, like, metaphor or whatever to how Kirito's feeling right now. Like, everybody can't completely, like, reach him, even though he is reacting to everybody, like, arriving to see him, and just to see him like that in the opening was so emotional to me that he's somewhat all alone right now. But man, when he comes back, oh my, when Sinon was crying, when she was hugging him, I started crying. And seeing, like, Asuna crying, it's like, all the crying is making me cry, and the opening theme was amazing. It's such a good song, like, it's so good. I think it's Anima, right? Or Riona or whatever. Like, that song is so good. And the sequence was amazing. The ending sequence, if that isn't nominated in the Anime Awards for, like, I don't know, for, like, best ending sequence, like, ending theme or something, cause I don't know, I might be a little mad, because that looked so beautiful. The way that it was animated, the water, and then Asuna looking at Kirito, and Kirito's looking the other way, being like, and then turning around. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The song was great. The sequence was amazing. If there isn't, like, something in the Anime Awards where SAO is nominated, like a fight maybe, like Bercouli and Vecta, and like the ending sequence or something, I will be a little bummed out. I'm gonna be honest, I will be bummed. Like, that's something, because last season, I thought maybe, like, something like the opening theme or ending theme would be nominated for, like, some sort of, like, anime award for, like, best opening or ending or something, but it's you know, just whatever. But I genuinely am excited for next episode, and I'm excited to see where all of these fights in general progress. For some reason in my head, I don't feel like, what's her name, Leadalai or whatever, the dark mage, the leader of the dark mages, whatever. For some reason in my head, I don't think she died. For some reason, I'm like, she came back like too quickly and was taken out too quickly for her character. I don't think, like, I feel like something else, something major, not something major, but something more is gonna happen with her. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's whatever, but I feel like there's something more to it. But anyways, that is the end. Again, great episode, completely worth it for waiting for part 2 to happen. It was great. I love the theme song. I love the ending theme song and opening theme song. I love the ending sequence and opening sequence and everything. I love, like, the music and everything. Like, it was so good. Like, you cannot deny that SAO, regardless if somebody loves SAO or they hate SAO, you cannot deny that SAO has 3 of some of the best things in anime: art, animation, and music. You cannot deny that. It's phenomenal. But anyways, that is it for this review, guys. I'm hyped and excited for next episode and everything, and next review. It's going to be so good. I'm so hyped and so excited. But what did you guys think about the episode? Leave down in the comments your thoughts about the episode, your thoughts about what I said. Did you think it was worth it and everything? Leave down in the comments your thoughts and everything. I know, like, before anybody says anything about, like, the gory stuff or whatever, I know it's, like, a lot. I've heard it's a lot worse in the light novel and everything. So they obviously need to somewhat at least tone it down just a tiny smidge. So, like, I mean, you don't have to mention that in the comments or anything like that. But anyways, leave down in the comments your thoughts about just the episode itself and everything. Leave a like if you did, if you liked anything I had to say, if you liked the episode and whatnot, if you liked everything about SAO, if it was worth it and everything, leave a like, and like the video if you like me, and yeah, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions to theory discussion videos, and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sassy, but most importantly, everybody got to stay a little nasty, alright? So peace and love, and I'll see y'all later in the next video. Peace out, may the force be with you always, and plus, ultra, and latom, and Kirito, please wake up.